circle.
We can only hope. I know you and I are, like, you know, in total agreement that Zarky circles are among the best in PUBG. But we'll see. I mean, we've been having, you know, kind of mostly northern circles, so I'm sure the players don't want to see it. But I mean, Zarky is a completely different, like, area of the map than, like, near that crash plane in the shooting range.
Look, variety is the spice of life, and Zarky is variety for me. That's what I like to see. I mean, I'm pretty much down for whatever, but we'll have to see how this all stacks together. Brazil getting themselves an early drop inside. This is going to give them plenty of time to loot, but nothing too unexpected so far.
Yeah, everything should be, I think, pretty routine because of the way that this plane is, and because that it seems like most teams aren't,
being
like,
routine?
Who would have
No,
thought?
never.
No hot drops?
Never.
How dare they?
To be a little formulaic,
Yeah,
but that just means the fact that everybody that when you get everybody good, they know exactly how they need to move. But that also does mean the fact that the tension is constantly mounting. Like, I loved the fact in the last game that we saw, it was a slower approach into the end. It wasn't just a W key into the fight, and everybody was trying to feel everything out, trying to find a way to survive. Japan reading the openings inside of that, Korea just fighting for their lives, trying to get that last fight. That's what I love about PUBG.
Yeah, and what's super cool about that ending was you have 3 of the PCS Asian teams, right? Oh, that's even that could. That's,
hey,
you know what?
We got the circle canceled yesterday. We got it back now. Thank you, Orange Jesus. This is what I want.
I like that better. And yeah, no, this is exactly what we needed, because you and I thrive on bad circles. That is our lifeblood. It's
bad circles, take that back.
I'm sorry, good circles, great circles.
Amazing.
But I want to point out that, you know, for the final game there, completely different level right now, and I really want to point out that you may not know a lot of these players because the Japanese teams, you know, typically haven't been as good as Korea and Japan, so they're often kind of lost in the sauce of everybody talking about the Asia region. But I really want to point out that, like, Shiva and Kane, for example, have been on a team with Americano and Korn on what's called Donuts USG is the name of the
Which
team.
is an amazing name, by the way.
And it's not actually a donut company, which is really sad in a way, but still, the Donut's great name, and they are really good players, really, in their own right.
Japan at some point, so I can make all of the katakuri jokes regarding donuts. I know somebody out there is going to get that joke, and I appreciate it for every One Piece fan.
I get that joke. Yeah.
Hey,
yeah.
I didn't know. Look, see,
a little bit. I get it a little bit.
You.
I know. Well, you know, I'm also a fellow weeb, so.
Well, I mean, you live in Korea. It's a requirement. I'm in Texas. I'm kind of an outlier over there. We've got Brazil that does have a good position inside the circle, but I also want to point out to everybody we have Australia that is also in a very good spot. Chinese Taipei is making an early rotation into this, and UK also playing in Milta proper has themselves a good spot inside of the circle. So a lot of the teams that we have our eyes on already, one of the teams that are inside of, I would say, a very strong position.
Yeah, and I mean, especially like the UK and Australia trying to bounce back from pretty disappointing performances so far today compared to yesterday. And, you know, I just briefly saw the UK players, and, you know, they're still in decently high spirits, but, you know, they're starting to kind of look a little bit worried there after that game. I could see Michael shaking his head a little bit. Things were, you know, obviously not going to plan so far. They were playing out of their minds the other day, but, you know, day-to-day teams are adjusting. You're seeing, you know, Brazil just kind of being more aggressive at the right moments. Japan just solidifying their play style, and it's working for them. And I can't believe it's working for Japan, dude. They are playing really spread out.
I gotta say, everybody in this lobby should start getting scared, because there's a thing that's going on. Brazil loves to play no fear. And whenever they can play no fear because they've got the points, it just means the fact that they're going to unlock and do more and more damage to everybody around them. Not having to play safe, having this lead means the fact that they'll assault fights and take people in unexpected ways, and that's going to turn a lot of these games on its head. Speaking of turning games on their head, you can see the Chinese Taipei did get into position. UK is pretty close to them as well, but it's going to be Brazil is their closest neighbor. Nobody really doing too many rotations. It feels like we're going to get a lot of in-game rotations in this one, and specifically, I would say a lot of edge fighting, it looks like, just due to the fact that everybody's taking so long.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, there's going to be a lot of fighting kind of from the farm all the way kind of if you make a crescent to the prison. There's going to be a fair amount of, you know, people trying to race for position to get in there. But right now, if you were to look at the main map, you would see a lot of teams racing down underneath the lumberyard, more towards Milta Power, Milta Mini, all those things. The reason being that with this initial circle being so far in the water, being so far off of land, now hold on, some done.
Oh, that car just was doing flips like it was the Olympics over there. So Germany is going to go ahead and make their rotation in, but here's the problem. Vietnam's already ahead of them. Remember, we just saw Chinese Taipei, Brazil, and UK all holding down this position. Germany doesn't have a good rotation here. They're going to crest past Vietnam, but if they play this any further north than where they're at right now, they're doomed. If they play to the south of it, they're going to bump into Chinese Taipei.
Exactly right. They're just too late on this rotation. Now Ming Ming's going to open up, and it's good. The AK gets the headshot and the finish. Now Xiao Lu on the other side getting some serious damage in. Finland in a lot of trouble.
Can he get these last couple of taps into it? Looks like Mixie is going to be able to get away narrowly. Nope. Uh-oh. We got Yan on the other angle. There is no escape from China when they decide that they want you. This is all the way on the outskirts of Georgia Pool, so now Finland taking 2 casualties very early.
Yeah, China kind of dialing up a new kind of idea in their playbook. They've gone for sort of a camp on a rotation path that they've read from Finland. We've seen this a lot with the UK, for example, in this event, where they're setting up a lot of traps for teams, and they're, at least on day one, we're getting a lot of kills off of it.
I mean, we often say, welcome to South George, but apparently North George is a little bit more violent over there.
I'm like, where's Miraku?
Gotta be careful getting out of there.
Over coaching the UK.
Argentina and Turkey also did move into this position over around Milta Power, just to the west of it. Everybody should be familiar with this dip. Turkey didn't manage to make it inside of the compounds itself, so that means that they're getting harassed, and Argentina wants to make that a problem for them. Moving in, Ali RB got the nade prepped. Got to be careful of smash on the side of it, but that could be a very good toss, depending on how the bounce comes into this one. Goes through, right over him, but a touch too far. Side angle coming up for Fisher. Doesn't get the damage that they wanted. Smash trying to hold this one up. Doesn't have the vision for it. Gets some shots in, but Turkey is doing a great job on surviving.
I mean, I really want to see Argentina try to finish this fight because they've done a ton of damage to Turkey early, but they just haven't been able to convert on any knocks. And now long-range shooting from other teams. Martinson and Silson hitting the drive-by shots. Now it's a response here from Smash, trying to get something done. Esky has gone down, but Argentina, that might not be a great spot. Silson kind of had to stop. Smokes are out, so maybe he could survive for a bit longer.
There's going to be some banter off of that one. Argentina pulling away with a drive-by fight over there right in the face of Brazil, so I'm going to have to keep an eye on that one as it goes. Fisher's still keeping an eye on how the rotation is going to be moving around them, but Turkey's kind of pinned down as they do have Brazil off on one angle. Keep in mind, Australia is also right off in this position. You can see Germany, we were talking about this rotation, not going to be the friendliest for them as they're still struggling to try to find some way to go as Vietnam is coming up back behind them, but is also kind of wounded.
Yeah, everybody knows that this circle is pretty likely to be more towards the Milta Mini area. And again, Germany late to this party. A good response, but Saki able to get far enough behind the hill that he's able to throw the grenade, let loose with it, but Payne's well aware of the situation, backs off.
There's going to be 2 members of Chinese Taipei that are coming back behind this. They hear what's happening, and Germany is going to continue to have more woes as looks like Micah needs to be very, very careful. Asa in the distance. Looks like they could be spotted out any moment now. Xavier's going to be coming into this one very, very quiet. Does Germany know that this is here? Yes, he does, but it's going to be Leo. Does a quick spin around on him. Germany, where are you even going to go? Looks like they are going to commit into trying to get this one back up, but that means that they're going to have Vietnam that's going to be back behind them. Xavier's on the high ground. Leo tries to go for something, narrowly gets away from it, does finally get chopped off of it, and now Germany is going to get demolished.
Yeah, great job here by Chinese Taipei, being active on the map, realizing they had a hillside open that they could attack this Germany team, get them in a vulnerable position. Leo should be resable here. A few shots being traded towards Vietnam, but right now everybody else just trying to get, again, as close to the Milta Mini area as they can. Somewhere in between Milta and Milta Power is very likely where the circle is going to end up, and the earlier you can get there, the better, because a lot of this area is flat, wide open stuff without much cover to work with.
And makes for some very interesting endings, specifically that area that's right between the Reds to the south. And, okay, let's see Jenko getting some shots in Indonesia at range there. They've got themselves spotted over around Milta. It's long range mostly, so the rest should be able to come through. Yeah, pick him up, move him to a better spot, but really Thailand's got themselves a wide spread all the way from the bridge up into Milta proper, so if anybody does try to go around that farm line and move south of that, they're going to have to contest against them.
Yeah, I mean, Thailand here has a couple options to rotate, as this one very likely, again, moves east. It doesn't have to, but when the circle starts out with this much water in it on the Milta Peninsula, you just kind of assume it's going to be doing that. And they can head, try to move around the coast, try to move to Vietnam's position. There's a hill there that you can mostly stay safe on, keep your vehicle safe, or just go to the edge of the Milta compound itself. We'll see. Everybody's trying to get ahead of this. A lot of pre-rotations coming out. Oh, my God.
I like this. The map can't even show where it is. It's so far to the east.
Oh, man.
Oh, this is a problem. Finland's trying to come in right at the same time that Canada is starting to make their rotation. Canada's got the inside track on this one, and it's all going to be coming into this cluster. This is a bottleneck to be had, and Finland realizes it. They pumps the brakes a little bit, let Canada go in front of them. Now they have a bullet sponge that's going to be coming out and maybe provide them a reprieve so that way they can come around with what's going on. Look at everybody that's going to be trying to cluster into this this. It's all about trying to come into the east of this. You've got to come down Lumberyard Hillside. You've got to be coming in with vehicles. There is nowhere to go. There are minimal spots that you're going to be able to stop. Canada gets into one, but it's going to be Finland that ends up passing through this one. We also see Argentina trying to make a run at range, but Finland's still just trying to reverse what's going to be happening. They're going to be wrapping to the north, built power, but to the south, Chinese Taipei has already made a move.
Yeah, I like what Finland's doing. Korea's going to be mirroring them, so there could be a battle for that coastal kind of square edge that wraps around the back of Militant Power. Now the transition here for Korea has Canada's sight lines firmly on top of them, but right now the shots aren't super great. Korea should be able to get up and over the hill, but they have Finland looming ahead.
To the south of it, now we've got Vietnam and Indonesia. Indonesia's trying to run through, but Vietnam has a great position for them and just absolutely tearing them apart. Back behind this, it's going to be Thailand that's going to be trying to make a run through it, but Vietnam is very caught up in trying to get the shots into this one. Up to the north of it, it's still chaotic as Korea is now dealing with Japan just rolling through them.
Yeah, getting a little revenge here for the last game. Korea's going to get at least 2. Nonix here's more cars, puts over the hill and gets another. One more to go, just Luna for Japan, but the Hood giving him just enough cover that he's going to be able to get away.
There's nowhere to go, though. They've got Finland on one side, Argentina on the other. He's got to navigate this so carefully. He's got to stop somewhere in the first place he could find. Just try to get away. Finland has vision on it, but narrowly manages to get inside the building. I think stuff is starting to calm down. Nope, never mind. Never mind. China's coming in. We've got Thailand to the south. It's never ending paper thin.
Yeah, I mean, China here has a bad situation. They tried to kind of get some information on people cutting up ahead of them, but they really weren't able to get much as there was quite a bit of fighting, so safe paths weren't really able to be found. They're going to lose one on the backside as their star player aches left. The tires are popped as well. It's so hard to drive those. Getting over to the side of the fence, but
how?
Where are you going to go? It's
how?
so, you're just, I mean, you have a little bit of a, okay, there's a little bit of a ledge on top of where they're going that you can hide at, but still, your vehicles are donezo.
But, I mean, it's better than nothing. How did they run through Canada, Korea, Turkey, Argentina, Brazil, Chinese Taipei, and manage to survive? They should have been dead like 3 times over.
Yeah, I mean, you know, sometimes fortune favors the bold, or just, you know, the fortune favors the fortunate.
There.
yeah, just able to get in there somehow, some way. So, you know, we saw it with VHC earlier. Now China able to pull a little magic for themselves as Vietnam has Thailand completely camped out. So Thailand did kind of do what I was expecting them to kind of follow the coast on their way in. And they've got Vietnam at a numbers disadvantage, but so far this tournament, Vietnam has definitely been the better team.
This is going to be very hard for Thailand. Nurens has been putting in some good work for his squad. Turkey goes for a peek that they're going to instantly regret, as this is a very close range fight. The circle is roughly, I don't know, half to a third of what it should be, and so that means the fact that it is just going to be clustered. Anything that is open is just going to eat up more space, so now it's time to clown car. Isaki's going to go ahead and have his nade prepped, but it might be too far. Doesn't matter. Vietnam's already got the defensive wall lined up. Nade's going to be tossed over the side of that one. Doesn't connect, but man, this is a big problem. New Circle Pop still keeps in a huge section of that bay. So now it's just going to be more and more dead space, but most teams are already safe.
Yeah, I mean, Vietnam just doing a good job here, just let loose with some utility of his own, but Mali is right next to his feet. He's getting help from Nil. It's actually Nile from Indonesia that's going to get the knock onto YM Cud, and Belmoth is going to get the finish.
Do we have a 1v1 over here at the time? Thailand is very, very weak. No, okay, they got Janku up as well, so looks back, and Isaki does want to make it into the 1v1, doesn't find the angle to work with off of that. He is revealed, but does have a path to make it inside the safe zone. Thailand, though, is still trying to regroup. They've got several down that they're trying to make sure that they can rely on. And Anonix is now finding themselves over here next to Finland, but I think that Finland's going to go ahead and let them pass by. This is just chaos, man. Everything's moving. I firmly recommend get the map open so that way you can track what's going on, because it's everywhere.
Yeah, absolutely. Get the map feed going, because you're going to want to see what these teams are doing, how they're maneuvering, and Korea's going to opt to try to follow the coast, and Onyx was kind of leading the way around here on foot, and again, there's space around the edge where you can mostly hide and stay safe, all the way kind of to that bay you were talking about.
Oh, Isaki's one to go for it. Nope, never mind. I thought he was.
He's
camera baited me. Camera baited me.
Well, he's going for something.
I know, I know.
Sometimes those angles are tricky, man. I mean, I'm really impressed here that Thailand survived that fight. Got a little help from Nile, but really, you know, a big moment for them. It looked like they were just going to get crushed by Vietnam, but, you know, just enough, barely. Belmoth able to stay alive, and that gave them enough hope that they're able to find some footing here in this next circle. Meanwhile, Finland's opting to try to push their way through Militant Power proper, kind of hoping maybe that it's not super occupied, but
when was the last time you saw 5 teams in Militant Power? Because we have Argentina, technically Japan, technically Finland.
Maybe never.
China and Chinese Taipei and Korea on the outskirts of it.
Matt,
So,
I can't remember a time that I've seen this.
not in a long time. The
It's
last
been a
time
while.
I saw something that was going to be this messy happening around Milta Power, Rumblers got fined. So this is going to be tricky for everybody, and I think that Korea is going to be a big beneficiary of this. This position there outside.
I love this spot.
If this continues to go to Milta Power, okay, it's going to be hard for everybody else. But if this moves away from Milta Power, Korea is going to be able to mop up a lot of kills here.
You can see almost everything all the way to the west and to the southwest in this circle. You can't see Milta Power and what's north of you, really. I mean, you can kind of run to the hill edges, as you can see they're doing, and get an idea of what's happening on the edges of Milta Power, but that's it. But the circle's pretty likely to move either hard north or hard west. Well, I shouldn't say pretty likely. It pretty much has to, because it has to cut out as much water as possible as we go into phase 4. Water ratio, land ratio, whatever you want to call it, of course, going to be in place. So, but I like this spot because you can get a ton of information from it safely.
Milta Factory or Small Power, whatever you want to call it, could be a key component inside this based off the way the circle shifts. There's also the hills that are going to be to the west and the southwest of that position that are very common endpoints for this circle. Yep, no surprise, goes right over there. So that means the fact that there is some of Milta Power proper still in play. We do have Thailand that's going to have to move, Indonesia's player is going to have to move, and Vietnam's player is going to have to move. But I think that most of the attention is going to be drawn into Milta Power's direction.
Yeah, I mean, Milta Mini here for Brazil is defendable, but sometimes difficult. Oh, Luna gets one. Oh, he tries to pre-fire. Can't find the second Diggery. Just a little bit better.
1 HP. Almost gets 2v1. Turkey runs in, going for the stop right at the logs, but I mean, that's going to be in nade range. Got to be very careful of that one. Turkey already realizing that, going to hop out. And here come the quick assaults all around. Argentina already hopping inside of vehicles. They did leave 2 of their members back in the Wizard Tower, but the other 2 coming in. And Brazil is going to be holding down that center point, but there are too many targets to try to hold down. China already hopped in vehicles. They're going to be rolling right in between Chinese Taipei as well as Korea. It is going to be sheer on chaos, as I think that China is going to be crashing in very close to where we see that hillside, but Thailand has already moved, and it's going to be nowhere for China to stop at.
Yeah, I thought China might try to take the bottom right corner of Milta Mini here.
Oh, that's bad.
But there's just too much action, and they're a little bit too scared. Meanwhile, Korea
will see that.
They're really going to flank this out. Yep, exactly. This beach is just kind of sloped enough that you're able to stay safe behind it. You're going to get the level 3 gear there for Seoul at the very least. Grenade here for Haven, going to be cooked, thrown out. Doesn't do too much damage, though, as the vehicle's kind of being shifted around by Argentina. They're trying to find some kind of foothold to get through this fence line.
This is going to be very rough for Brazil because they can't even step out too far. They are going to get shot. Nice air bar is going to land right on top of Sills and Martinson. These guys now know who they're going against and know exactly how they're going to be playing. These guys have been playing against each other for so long. Argentina and Brazil, these guys are very often on teams together. So this is going to be a little bit of jockeying, I would say, for pride in what's going to happen.
Oh, absolutely. But, I mean, again, anybody who's either played or watched knows how difficult it is. That player was already dead. Yeah, it's already Xavier stole it. But, I mean, it's so hard to assault this compound if you have a kind of rapid response as the team that's inside of Milta.
Oh, Vietnam. Who are you going to give the skill point to? Is it China? Is it Korea? I don't know. It's one of the 2 of them. It's going to be Korea. So now then, I think that we're finally getting the calm. Korea's going to regroup to the north, so it's going to see Lash and Anonix. I do like Korea's split over here. They've got a lot of vision on what's going on, but if they have to move, they are pretty much screwed.
It's hard to move off of that beach, no doubt about it. So it takes good timing and good patience, and then hopefully you can find some point where you're either able to
look at what they have to rotate through right there.
Yeah. No. It's near impossible, and so you're either looking at trying to. You're probably going to stay on the side of the road until you absolutely have to leave it. Then you're going to try to either push through Milta Mini, which is near impossible, as you just saw with Argentina try to take their hand at it, or they have to wrap around to either the north or the south. But all these options are super difficult.
Okay, Brazil definitely in the strong position, but it's inversely strong given the fact of how many people could be eyeing to assault it. With this now said, the remnants of Argentina, Finland, and Canada are going to be looking to assault from the north. Korea is going to have to make their move, but UK, who has been very quiet today, does have a strong position to play in the south. Yeah,
UK actually not in a terrible spot at all. I mean, they should have pretty free reign over that last hill that's in the southern tip of the circle. Xavier, they're going to find the knock on a page, so Finland's still trying to bully their way through Milta Power, and it has to happen now as Circle's left them, but with the full forces of Chinese Taipei barreling down on them, good luck.
You got to give it to Finland. They are trying. They know that they want to climb the leaderboard, but very outnumbered at this stage. Well played coming out from them. Korea hears that firefight, looking into it, and now Argentina making a back rotation into this, hearing a firefight, thinking maybe they can third party. Problem is, there's no chance to. It's already finished out. It's going to be Finna now getting at range, taking some shots to them as well, and you can see this is going to be the nature of the beast for everybody that's trying to rotate in. Just vision, third, fourth, fifth party popping off.
Yeah, exactly. Korea has to clear China out here.
look at how many smokes they
I know, you just have to, but I mean, Korea has to cut off the vision of the UK here to make this assault. Soul's taking a decent amount of damage. He's actually going to get knocked by Vex. That's huge. That's that level 3 gun, that level 3 gear that they had reached out to the beach to pick up earlier on the ground. Let's see if they can recover Soul.
Oh no, Korea's trying to fight their way through this one, but guess what? Chinese Taipei does hear this. I was afraid that they just might run through the smokes and just try to run them over. Instead, Chinese Taipei makes a run to factory itself. Korea finding some opportunities moving forward, and it looks like they're just going to roll right into it. Jumps out, bumps into one of them, goes for the shot, does go down. Can we see the rest of Korea try to capitalize off of this? It's going to be cover now provided for China.
Okay, well now they got to follow up. They had to go for the res on his soul. He's just going to get re-knocked right away here by the UK. I know they've got to find a way, a timing to send it on to China. They're going to be going for the res, and they're probably going to get it.
With the amount of time this is now taken, they are just trapped out here. The blue is going to be coming after them. Argentina is tailing it back behind this. Canada is trying to make their push into where we can see that Turkey's going to be defending, but Turkey has been doing a very good job at ruining the dreams of everybody from North America so far today.
Yeah, oh, that's a stun there. I thought it might be a frag. If it was, it could be pretty damaging to the side of Canada. They have to abandon Soul, so probably transferring over whatever they could, but Ali has a great angle, and it's going to be actually VHCs from Brazil that gets a knock on the lash.
Loki does survive, but Ali RV is behind him. Spots out what's going on, seeing if maybe he can connect. The blue does get enough of it, and he's going to take down Loki, and it's going to be Sparking that takes him down. And I think finally it's starting to settle down.
Yeah, it's so difficult to push off of that beach. Is that a frag around the corner? It is. It doesn't get any finishes. They're so weak, and that's going to be good enough. Kletpa for Turkey going to finish off Canada.
Turkey doing pretty well today. I mean, it's not the flashiest of flash, but they're doing a good job of realizing how to navigate what's going on around them. Brazil, though, still in a comfortable position, now getting far more uncomfortable by the second. Chinese Taipei is on the outside wall from them. The new circle pops, and Sparking's trying to defend up at range, but the rest of Brazil is having to move out and figure out what's going on. They do get 2 knocks on what's going on with Chinese Taipei, but now have a knock of their own thrown back at them, trying to find the angles for it. Haven cannot quite find the angle to work with, and he goes down as well.
All right, Yan Li still rocking and rolling for Chinese Taipei. Just VHE and Sparking left as they've got China hot on their heels. They love this corner. I've seen the Chinese teams do this all the time where they're going to start splashing grenades in, up and over with the underhands to try to breach the walls.
Ming realizing how he needs to go through this one, but Vehicle doing a good job on providing some cover for him to work with. China used the opportunity to sneak into this spot. So 3 teams all fighting for this one. Sparking did leave his high ground position, is now coming in to provide support to the rest of his team. This is going to be a very pivotal fight. Whoever manages to win this is going to have the easiest path into the next circle.
Yeah, I mean, if Brazil can hold on here, they're looking really good for this next game. And T-Bone tries to push up over that hill, but Escaliza is going to find the headshot, and Vard immediately trades up. United Kingdom here trying to breach through that grenade. So close. Michael is so low.
Junko and the rest of Thailand is trying to hold this, but I mean, he's the last member up. He's afraid to go for any form of res. He does have UK that's right next to him. The reinforcements for UK are coming in. He tries to step up and go for it, but does get dropped. UK could come in and provide some reinforcements and get the reses into it, but we do have a fight that's starting to break out in multiple locations. Brazil is getting spotted out, and now it is just Sparking, the last one up, as it's continual fight between these guys.
Zipian accidentally shot Ming Ming in the head there. They're both trying to kind of watch the same angle down that fence line, and Yan Li going to see if he can punish this. The last molly in the back just comes up short, so Ming Ming going to continue to crawl back to Zipian. Stun over the wall, though. Sparking trying to, he faked a bit so he can go for the res.
Do note those cars lined up against the wall. That is so important in how you see these assaults come in. They've been eating a lot of the nades. They've been providing the cover that was very necessary for these teams to hold this position. Sparking did get the res onto VHZ as Yan Li is doing a good job of surviving. Chinese Taipei sitting at 10 kills. This has been a very active movement coming out from them. China also getting into a spot that they just, I mean, there was a desperation play, but somehow still surviving. Do note, though, nobody is really moving except for Sparking, who has moved back into factory itself, or mill to small, however you want to call it, and getting into a good spot to play from. China is going to opt to fight to the south of it. That means that we're going to start seeing vision between them, and it's going to be VHG that's trying to hold it together against Yan Li.
Yeah, let's see here if either player can finish the other off before China gets involved in this. But it's Sparking from afar. Yeah, it was going to put Yan Li inside of the security officer's house, and He's got to go for the heel. Should be able to get it. I don't suspect there's much utility. Oh, he's got it. Oh, around the window, gets the headshot, finishes the job. VHZ there. Get a little help from the blue along the way.
Back down in the south, you can see it's going to be USA versus Australia, and Australia is coming in with some gusto. They're putting in some work onto USA. UK is on the backside of USA as well, so there is nowhere to go. Kickstart now all by his lonesome, trying to figure out how he is going to survive. New circle about to pop, and everybody is waiting with bated breath. It does stay along these hills and is going to be very problematic for most of these teams to move in.
Yeah, this is really tricky if you're not inside the walls of Milta Mini. Everybody else kind of has to do a little bit of trench warfare on the outside in these hill lines. And Kickstart, yeah, he's got a smoke and a little bit of a hillside to work with, but eventually somebody's going to have to push up and over. It's going to be tough for Australia here to get up and over on foot. I'm not sure if they have any vehicles on the backside or not to make the rotation, but Turkey on the move up on the north side.
That Adrenaline Trench is going to have to be doing some work given the amount of enemies that are around Kickstart right now. The way this is lined up, though, it is hillside to hillside, so UK could see Australia. Australia gets the read on that. And so Australia does move into the north, wrapping around where we might see Turkey make their assault. VHZ is still holding up for Brazil, but you can see now with the firefight having been, I guess, a problem for everybody that was inside of Milta Small, it's just remnants of people that are playing around the outside of it.
Yeah, Turkey here. Oh my goodness, Monty almost got the knock there onto Smash. They're going to be able to vault up and over safely here behind this silo. Go for the heels, should be good to go. So a nice little maneuver, nice timing. Oh no, he stood up on top of the wall and Tiggleton punishes it.
Man, you cannot do that around Tig. He will not let it happen. Australia now counter moving into this, kind of leaning into a 2-2 split. I wouldn't say it's quite that just yet, but they're kind of dancing around trying to defend each other. VHZ looking down into China, trying to get some shots into Ming Ming, but it's going to be VHZ that's on the bad end of those bullets. So now he does manage to hold out in this spot, tries to get some more, but it's going to be very hard to finish anything. He knows the assault is going to have to come by working their way up through this or a beautifully tossed nade. But China had to throw everything just to get into this stage.
Oh, certainly, yeah. They are very low on utility. VHZ there kind of catching Ming Ming by surprise. Ming Ming probably expecting that VHZ was going to go for the heal based on the amount of damage he had done, but VHZ kind of wisely there opting to go for the re-peek. Now, VHZ is in an awkward position. Like this particular like rooftop is pretty difficult to navigate in and out of sometimes.
It's so hard to defend, and especially as a solo, you can see that there's just people crawling all around this, and you have to assume somebody's going to come after you at some point. Sure, he's got the high ground, but that just means as he's moving around, people like Australia can see him, and so he is really capable of being assaulted by everybody that is still alive right now.
Yeah, every time he peeks, somebody's going to be looking at him. Everybody's going to be watching him because he's got, you know, overview on the circle. Certainly that's nice, but again, like you mentioned, because he's a solo, it's not as powerful a position as usually. We're going to start moving away from Milta Mini a little bit here. Still the southwestern corner of the compound in play for this circle, but Phase 8 is going to end on the outside just barely, and UK has firm control of that hillside that's closest to the center.
VHC still trying to make this work where that China is down below him. UK, as you said, has a very strong position inside this next circle. So it's going to be a lot of these guys just fighting for a good spot and try to rotate in to get as close as they can. Problem is, how do you do that with the amount of teams that are still holding down in this spot? China knows where VHZ is, but they're also aware that there could be anybody around any corner. Turkey is still back behind this and is probably going to assault along this path once this firefight ends.
Yeah, you see China heard VHZ moving there, so eyes up as he goes back up to that rooftop. Australia, yeah, still plenty of vehicles here to make a maneuver. Yeah, I mean, they might just swing around the southern edge here, kind of work their way through. First, they got to go through Kickstart, then the rest of UK. If they can dislodge the UK, they've got a great chance to win this game.
Yeah, the Kickstart holding down this position might make it slightly complicated for them, but UK's position is so freaking strong. It is going to be very hard to assault from this angle. Really, it's the remnants over here that are going to have the best one, but hey, I guess if you're just driving around shooting whatever you want, you can come from any angle that you want to, right?
Oh, totally. And the good news is like the rest of the teams are stuck fighting each other inside the compound, so you kind of have a one-way battle against UK if it wasn't for Kickstart. You can get him eliminated. CVHZ can't peek over at all, like you were talking about earlier. It's so challenging to get up and over that ledge with everybody aware of that position and knowing how dangerous it is to give him any opportunity to take shots.
You got to give it to VHZ. This is now 2 times in a row. He has done a great job of surviving for Brazil in a desperate situation, and he's still going for peaks. It's not like he's just playing this for passive. China now has spotted out Turkey, tries to get them dropped, but it's just a smidgen of damage. It's going to be Luke at range that hits him beyond. So now Australia is starting to take control of this area. UK lined up against them to the southeast of their point, but Australia is just looking to the north.
Oh, VHC wanted to go for the finish onto China there, but couldn't quite connect on the follow-up shots. Now you've got Turkey wrapping around in front of him, and here goes VHC lighting up Australia there, doing some serious damage.
Gets the shots in.
Oh my God, he's got one. Can he get more?
Goes for the jump down. This is going to hurt, but it doesn't matter. Does get him some cover from the wall, and now trying to assault what's going on around. Gets the read on it, but it's going to be Ming Ming that takes him down. Now we're in R4. Ming Ming and Turkey still alive on one side, but Australia lining in, and UK has the beat on the center point for this. 1v1 on the outside to see who can be maybe the X factor in this next fight.
Yeah, how do you like trying to go up against one of the best players in the world? Kepa going to go down to Ming Ming. Ming Ming, the one-man army, but the volley's perfect.
Oh, of all the ways for that to end, that's gonna hurt.
Oh, man, I thought Ming Ming might be on a tear there, but what a molly from Australia to finish the job. And now there's the AWM that's going to fall into the hands of Luke 12. But the full forces of the UK, man, this is going to take incredible shooting. That's not bad.
On both sides of it, tapping into each other. Fex gets the better end of it, though. Now just one member up. Australia's Fled's got to try to do something. UK has been on a roll yesterday, and now finding their strength on Aaron Gell yet again. Coming up alive, and they don't even care. They're charging across. When Flood does get one of them down, reveals his position. There you go. UK picks up another one.
Yeah, UK here with a big finish to the day. They really were feeling the pressure.